All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Eric Gallagher.
No, so this, unless we have interest for it, last year we had 2 dates set for Gamechanger. We honestly, the first one, we had like 20 people show up, and there wasn't interest in the second one. So if you guys are going through it as coaches, or if other parents, if you hear other people that are interested that didn't make it today, let us know, and we will find time. We're not going to turn anyone away. We want people to learn. So if we get like another 15, 20 people that we find out are interested, I'll call the other center. We'll get another day set. Bobby's willing. I'm willing. If it's just us two out here, but we have other board members here. Trent Burbank, we have John Van Dyke, Jason Park, who was the president last year. He's the major rep. He's here. Roger, our treasurer, who tax season just ended. You know, he didn't get stuff done, so I'm surprised he's here because it's a lot of work. But yeah, if we have more interest, let us know. Rip's the manager, we have manager here, Lee's the manager, so just let us know, let your division reps know, and then we'll get another class going. Even if it's the middle of the season, we'll get a class going, whatever it takes to make this successful, so. Cool, thank you. Oh yeah, sorry.
Real quick, do we have these handouts available digitally? Or I can send them out to parents if they're
Y'all fancy digitally.
Hey.
Yes, I have those PDF files if you need it. That's something we could sidebar about.
Yeah.
Awesome. The segue is that this gentleman here, what's your name, sir?
Vince Huerta.
Vince Huerta. That's what we need. We need you guys to interact. I don't want you guys, number one, to feel glued to your chair. I don't want you to feel like you can't talk to the person next to you, or that it's rude to me. I'll ramble on, I'll talk, I'll do things to give you guys as much information as physically possible. Because when you guys leave here, you will be the tutors. You will be in the know. And I see Rip nodding his head just because newer people, they're going to have eyes like that. They're going to be like, I'm doing Gamechanger today. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't want to mess up the game. I don't want them to have to halt the whole game because I don't know what I'm doing. And that's not what's going to happen. You can find a helper. We're all, the more we get, the better. And this is our second year, and it's going to be even better. Last year, we had a multitude of problems happen, and it still was just steamrolling through the Little League. Even to the point, I went to the D9 meeting this year, and Hartnell, of all places, was like, hey man, heard you're the guy that switched over a Little League to Gamechanger. And I'm like, whoa, how did this happen? We have to band together. We have to innovate. We have to increase the numbers, right? And how we do that is this room here. The people in this room. You guys are the most important. It's not me. If you need my help, I am there. I've had people call me in the middle of the game. I've had people call me like, it's so messed up. I did not leave my house and drive over there. I used my phone etiquette, and I was there with that person until everything was smooth and they felt comfortable. Or I even asked them, like, do you see any other people around you? Describe those people. Do you know their names? And they'd be like, yes, I see Josh Rip over there. I'm like, hey, go get Rip. And then we did that, and we made things happen that way. That is how strong our Little League is. We have a huge number of players in the Little League. We have 6, 8 teams in each division. Other teams in D9 are not like that. And I'm not trying to take a dump on it. I'm just saying, if we're going to be from Hollister, we have to be the trendsetters. We have to be, I know, pun intended, the game changers. Because we are the best. And strength is in numbers. We just have the most. We got the most players, the most teams, the most admin, the biggest board, the most money, all of it. But if we stay, and this is the speech that I said last year, if we stay in the Stone Age, then we're just going to be dragging our feet along. You know, and our president, he bought in. And he's not an analytical guy. There's a lot of us, there's a lot of traditional baseball people in our town. And there's probably a lot of you in this room. And you're like, analytics, whatever. But there's more to this. Think about a travel organization as amazing as the ones that we have in this town, adopting this as their full communicator. They only talk on this app. That's it. Because it's that streamlined. It's that good. But the same thing, if you feed it junk, it's going to spit back out junk. Right? I got a team in, what is it, AAA? Or not triple, double A. He's got 3 teams right now. No players on it. The guy made 3 teams. So that's what I'm saying. It's kind of, you know, you got column A, you got column B. I want all of you guys to be type A. The more type A you are with this app in your teams or your scorekeeping, the better it's going to be. it can make the experience wonderful and easy. And it doesn't have to be scribbling down hard copy lines and all these crazy things like this paper right here. This paper right here inspired me because I was so bad at it. I felt dumber every time I did it. I actually felt like I messed up the game, right? And this is a very traditional, this is back before I was even born, or I don't know, maybe it was innovated in Babe Ruth days, I don't know. But the more and more I learned about this, the more and more I felt like there's just no way. I cannot compute drawing a line this way, scribbling this, and transferring it over here, and doing all that.
Dude, that's the best right there. That is so cool. I love that. I don't know what the heck you're talking about. I can do that in my sleep. I can teach somebody in a heartbeat to do that. This computer stuff.
I came to a meeting,
The heck you're talking
I think
about.
it was 3 or 4 years ago, taught by a gal, and she did her very best, and I really gave it a chance. I was like, I really wanted to score heat. I really did. And it was trying to create this paper, and I cannot even imagine how we could do that. You know what I mean? And people did it for years. I totally get it. But when we have an automated app system with algorithms and equations that literally will make this for you, if that's what you want. You want to have a paper trail of the game? It has a PDF file for you. It will generate it for you. So this is me selling Gamechanger. If you don't want it and you want to stay back in that age, cool. Little League lets you go to any Little League you want now. You don't have to have residency. But our Little League and what I would like, and I know the majority of the board, I think probably 99% of us are all adapted to it. And the reason I know that is because, like Eric said, we have a board member team on Gamechanger right now. Because all of our texts and it was probably my phone the one that was breaking it. But it was like 5, 6, 7 different group messages. Like, how is this happening? I don't know how that is. But Gamechanger is all streamlined. Alright, so today I wanted to be interactive. I got you guys some snacks. We can take a break. You guys can use each other. I'll make it interactive. I brought some pins. So anybody that's courageous enough can come up here. And I'm going to throw out like, hey man, show me how to do a drop 3. And you're going to come up on the screen. And you're going to do it. I want your guys' questions. I do not want you guys to leave. I'll stay here as long as you guys need me to. Any questions you got, and we're going to score a game. I got a game queued up, and that's what we did last year, and it was really, really smooth. The other thing I do have to inform you guys is I'm setting up a video. I'm live streaming on Gamechanger right now. So this video will be saved. You want to pass it all around town and do all that to send to somebody or watch it later, it's all good. And I'll probably miss some stuff. Everybody online, I'm going to miss some stuff. But this is our second year, and we're just going to build and build and build. So I'm so glad to have you here, and I'm so glad to build with you guys. So please, don't be afraid to speak up during it, okay? The first paperwork we have over here was the agenda. I'm going to do my very best. It is not within my wheelhouse to not ramble on and love the sound of my own voice. It's just not in my bag. It's just not. I'm going to do my best to stay on track. I mean, if somebody wants to be a timekeeper, Shelly, you might be best suited for that. Just get me going to the next piece. Like if it's taking too long, like this introduction is, then we just have to move to the next piece. We only have a couple of hours together, right?
Hey, Bobby,
So,
real quick, can I add something? And I want to
Yes.
say, because it did affect the games last year, is I mentioned it to managers, and it's a manager responsibility ultimately, but when you're in charge of Gamechanger for that game, if it's getting like 30 minutes before the game, 25 minutes, our bylaw, the managers, they have 15 minutes to get within 15 minutes, they have to have the schedule to you guys, the roster. So if it's like 20 minutes before a game, you haven't received any rosters, just please leave the score booth and just, with a little initiative, and just go ask the managers. Because what happens is if you get inside that 15-minute window, which we had last year, like the umpires we're all waiting for the game to start, and it's like 10, 15 minutes after the game is supposed to start. And then we have games backed up to where as soon as one game ends, we have another one starting. So if you're getting like 20 minutes and you don't have any rosters yet, you should have one from the visitor from home. Just go ask those coaches, hey guys, I need the rosters. Because that's gonna kind of push all of our games back, especially like on a Saturday, or we have a couple games on night, so. Yeah,
Haven't seen anywhere
you
there's,
did reiterate that to the
cameras
managers
on
today. Rick can attest, Lee,
They took
that
all
was one of the
cheat
big
sheets out.
things that was brought up from last year. Last year was more of, they're working the bugs out, because it's the first year of Gamechanger. And if you did Gamechanger last year, you kind of
know
know,
what we're doing.
and Bobby mentioned, you kind of get called
So
everywhere.
just go into your Gamechanger app.
But yeah, if
and
you guys
log
like-
into your Gamechanger,
I know it
just
sucks,
log
I
out.
know it's
You don't
anybody,
need to
all the other
register.
coaches, going up to
And
like,
just help
people
yourself
don't
to the
know,
snacks you wanted.
and asking for something, like, hey,
Sit anywhere you
you know,
feel comfortable.
the managers know, especially up at the upper levels, we're keeping score of Gamechanger. We don't keep Gamechanger for the lower divisions. We encourage people to come, but for teams
T-ball and Farm I, they don't keep score, but we still encourage them to come, because eventually the kids will need to know Gamechanger. But for the upper divisions where you guys are scoring, we gotta keep those games going. So if it's an issue, let us know, let the coach, let somebody know. But yeah.
Let the umpire.
Yeah, let the umpire know.
Right away, just yell down
Yeah.
there.
But ideally, the manager should be loading their roster, not giving you a paper like
Yeah.
old days. You got a paper
Yes.
roster, it
Right.
should be a,
But the umpires still need that paper roster, so usually you'll get one from the coaches as well. The umpires still need to have that roster, so the coaches will print, hopefully they'll print a couple copies out, one for the scorekeeper and then one for the umpire, especially the upper divisions. So just look out for that roster. But like John did mention and Bobby will explain, is that, managers can actually, the morning before the game, they can set the roster. So it's already in there for you, but of course, you're gonna be some couple tweaks, somebody doesn't show up, somebody's sick when you get there, but, I know my manager last year in majors, he was setting the roster ahead of time, so that's just a couple of things. Thank you.
No problem. Those are veterans, right? These two gentlemen here and there, you're gonna get that wisdom as we go through this, of where you embrace it and just take it and try to move with it and grow your own foundation of baseball knowledge. The next step is when you're at the field and you're the scorekeeper. I'm not saying you have to go isolate yourself in some chair in right field. I'm not saying that. We have score booths for you. I've simulated those here. It's gonna feel like that. I would highly recommend not being in the crowd when you do it. I know in travel ball organizations they do that. There's a person that is very skilled and they've been doing it for years and years and years, and she could sit next, or he could sit next to someone. I'm one of those people. I could be cheering and doing all this stuff and clicking and moving the dots all around. For you guys, I would not recommend that. Either stay in the score booth, and the other thing, and a change from last year is grab a friend. Someone that can watch the game for you and articulate that information to you. Because you're learning, and then what's gonna end up happening is you're gonna be missing stuff. And you're gonna be like, wait, and then the person next to you is gonna be doing the scoreboard. So they got a job already. They're counting pitches, and they're doing the scoreboard. So it's hard to do that. So if you have anybody, that could just be your eyes, Messina, could just be your eyes, it's helpful. Because last year I was like, oh, go up in the score booth, be isolated, right? But actually, it's better to bring someone that can watch for you until you can look up and down. The next thing is, don't try to do it in real time, up to the second updates. You don't want to do that. Watch the game. That's the best thing. Just watch the game. And then there's always pauses. This is baseball. This is why I do so much antics in our games. Because there's just so much dead time. Wait for the dead spot. Dead spot, you're click, 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 click. It's all good. Everybody online, they don't get the information until you do it. So if you don't do it, they're just waiting. Good for them. Let them wait. Because you want to be accurate. There are ways to go back and fix things, right? But Gamechanger has wonderful game streams, videos, all these things that are interlocked with what you are doing on the screen, which we are going to go into, and that's the first phase. Is I'm just going to go into this, and we're just going to go step by step through it to ease your guys' strain and to make you more familiar with it. All right? The next thing is, don't just connect with an outside person. The most important person you can connect with is, anybody know? They're on the field. The umpire. Great job. You cannot be an introvert here, right? If there's one person to connect with during the game, it is Blue. You got to. And he or she will feel more comfortable too, right? Because I'm telling you, the Little League actually lets me do it. I umpire sometimes. And sometimes I'm looking back hey, what's the count? The same thing. You could be like, hey, I'm Blue, what's the count? And then they just put some fingers up or they communicate, things like that. You're there with each other. And you guys are running the game, right? Blue is running the game and trying to keep the peace and all that comes along with being an umpire. But your best friend on the field is the umpire, right? Usually. If they're not communicating, you got it. You could take a timeout and be like, hey, time Blue, you can call a timeout. Time Blue, time, you're not. Sometimes they're just or they say nothing. There's a ball and they say absolutely nothing. And you're just like, what's going on? I have no idea what's going on. Was that a ball? Was that a strike? And then the scorekeeper's like, I don't know, that was a pitch. I'm I'm marking the pitch down, right? So that you can just yell out. And after a while, they're gonna know. Like, oh, that's the game changer person. Yes, ball. What I like in the lower divisions is an umpire that will describe the ball. They'll be like, oh, that was high, outside. And then when they yell strike, they're like, strike two, right? Something like that. And that's helpful to us. That's helpful to the people, it's helpful to the crowd. Some guys are a little bit more seasoned as an umpire, and they know if they say that stuff really loud, it attracts this like, are you sure that was a strike? Are you sure? We've all, like, as managers, we've all been that guy. Where's your zone, man? Like, it opens up this line, this threshold of communication that they might not feel comfortable opening. Or they want to keep that kind of separation from the group without openly communicating. But they need to be openly communicating with you. Or having some signs that you'll know what the pitches are. Okay, so the umpire is really important. Next, maybe I'll just hold on to this. Yes, use the crowd to your advantage, right? There's going to be people, especially like field 3. There's bleachers right below you. You've got all these resources there. They're all help buttons. Did you guys see that? Did you guys see that? What happened right there? Was that a ball? Was that a strike? Stuff like that. It can be very, very helpful. Oh, was that a double play? Did they call that person out? Because sometimes it turns into a library, right? Some of these games, especially, no offense, but like Farm A, and there's going to be some are there any Farm A people in here? There we go. See, I'm so sorry. I'm there with you. I feel your pain. It's just silence. You're just like, am I the only one watching the game? Everyone's all in there like, oh, is it my kid batting? Oh, no, I'm good. I don't know what was, you don't know what was going on. So try to use the crowd to your advantage because there's a Josh Messina out there that's just ready to tell you the correct information. I used Josh so many times last year. He was so helpful because he became a tutor within the crowd, information in the crowd, and he watches the games. He knows the terminology. He knows what's actually happening. He's like, oh, no. That's not a double. That's a single with an error, right? If you are that person. Something like that. You can be like, how do I score that? Right? Things like that. How do you do a drop 3? You know, stuff like that becomes very complicated, and you're probably like freaking out about it. You're like, dude, I don't know enough terminology. That's my wife. But now, just before this, she was like, oh, let me watch the game that you're going to put up. I want to score it. I would never thought that would happen. She understands. Not that she's not super intelligent, because she is, honey, if you're watching this video. But you have to know you are going to grow your baseball knowledge, and it's going to create this wonderful relationship that you probably already have with your player, but it will enhance it. You're going to understand something that he did great. It's like, man, why is Timmy so excited that he got this play? And you're like, oh, because he beat out the catcher the throw down, and he's so excited. But if you don't mark that, then it's just like, oh, he just advanced. It's like, oh, he got a steal. He really got a steal. Or did he reach on a pass ball? Right? These are things that you're going to learn today, the differences between the two. Right? All right, we're going into practice scorekeeping. So if everybody could get to this page here and then select, this is not a prize. Gotcha. This is my pointer. So this is explore scorekeeping. Let's click that and then click baseball. You should see this. Hollister Little League, being who we are, we have iPads for you. They're going to be in the dugout. You're going to log in on the paper that's the farthest to the right. It's going to be laminated. It's already in the dugout right now. You're going to make sure the Wi-Fi is on. You're going to make sure you're on the correct Wi-Fi at the correct field. That was definitely an issue that we worked through last year. So just make sure that those settings are there. More than likely it will, because it's kind of I don't know how to say it. I mean, Roger, you might know, but it's like a spread internet, so it's like it shoots a range. So if you're on field 3, you should only be allowed to even log on to Hollister Little League 3, right? But if you take the wrong iPad and it's searching for HLL2, you're going to have some problems. And what you're going to have problems is Nana in Greensboro is going to be like, I want to watch Timmy's game. How come it's not on? It says live, but there's nothing happening. You're not on the right internet. And there are some beta issues that happen with this, but I need you guys to understand, like, we have to log on before you get to this page. If you load up a game, which this is where someone has created an event. and you're already live, right? Everything is live on this page here, okay? So is everybody there, or are we still waiting?
How did you get there?
Sir,
I thought.
log out. Log out completely, sign out of your profile. Go just to the Gamechanger app, and then it should bring you to that page that we're all staring at.
Question.
Don't delete it.
I never
Yes,
logged
but-
out, 'cause I have no clue what it is.
Do you have to be registered in order to access it, or can you just access it directly?
I made us our own scorekeeping email, so everything is there for you. When it comes to your teams or any future teams, it's all kind of too big. Like with the divisions and stuff like that, I have to make division, but we'll get into that. We will get into that. Because what happens is, if you make your own personal team, like how you guys have, and you make an event within that team, even if you put that your team's playing Charlie's team, the visiting team, the opposite team, your opponent, it will not register that they're in that event. That was a trick that I learned last year. So what I did was I created divisions, organizations. So now, whenever I create a game against Rip, or if the Angels play the Giants, his team will be notified that this event is happening.
And we can go in prior to the game and set up our lineup so that people, when they get to the scorekeeping booth, don't have to load it.
Unfortunately not. It happens if you do it the other way, where it's like, if you create it on your single team, it will make lineups for both, and if you create the event, it'll be there. But within the organization, they did not add that, unfortunately. I wish they would have, because that was the #1 issue.
So we really gotta have our 15-minute ahead of time, so we allow the guys to load up the people on Gamechanger, because that does.
Correct.
Yeah.
But what I'm gonna show you guys is the fastest way. So what they're all talking about right now
Bobby.
is the first lesson. Correct.
Real
Yes,
quick,
Josh.
is division different than what the normal one was, where they started going to the, QR codes? Where you can set it up like the day before, or set it
Yeah,
up
the
before,
QR
and
code
then,
is something that they could share. You could share that.
Can you
digitally,
do that
right?
in
You
a
could go over
division?
to the guy, here man, here's my lineup, right? Or here, scorekeeper, here's the lineup, and then it would pop up on their phone, and then they were able to do it that
so
way.
you can do it on your phone, you just have to go to the QR on your phone and take it to the score booth, and if they take a picture of it, it'll automatically upload it in there, but it doesn't, just because it's in your phone doesn't mean it went up to the booth right away.
I have yet to do that. But
I've done it before with the travel ball side of it.
Okay.
And so if you set it up the night before, and there's a part on here where you hit QR code, and the scorekeeper come over, take a picture of it, it'll tell you input or card QR, take a picture of it, it automatically comes in.
But
So
that
that
is
does
for
help.
your single team, like you said, he
Yeah.
did it for travel ball. So his headhunter team had a single separate team.
Yeah.
When you make an event in there, there's a QR code, but that's not gonna be relative to the organization that I created.
Oh, okay, that's what I was asking.
So that's the unfortunate part, is they have not taken that information and put it into this organization, which you guys will see in a bit. Right now, you guys are looking at me like, what is he?
Sorry, I didn't mean to confuse them, I'm just wondering if
It's all good. No,
I didn't
Josh,
know if
it's
that had
good.
come over. or not.
appreciate it.
So what you're gonna see here, when you first load up, unfortunately, if I
wasn't sure.
delete all of
The
them,
question was if it came over in the division.
what he's talking about is these lineup cards. Those are gonna be QR codes. All those little tiny papers that you used to get, and you probably, unfortunately, you will get, and they're like scribbled, and like you get the pink copy, and you're like, what is this? Gamechanger, you can have a PDF file, so anybody that, or any managers, you can print this out. I give these to umpires, and they hate it, but it's like, hey, too bad. You know what I mean? Like, you just fold it up and you hand it to them. It's like, it's all clear. It's like, it has area where they can write, and they're just like, where's my paper? But, as Gamechanger people, you're gonna love this. Any manager that does this, it's just, everything is super clear. But the other thing is, if you're a manager of a team, and like Vin, for example, this is your first year making a team, right? So if you don't type these things correct, this is how they're gonna print out. The other thing is, you don't put their number there, this will be blank, right? So it's really, really important. I had a really bad issue in majors last year. The manager or the coach didn't put it right. So when the Gamechanger person was scoring the game, they had no idea who was who. And they didn't know who was on the team. All they had was the number, and then some of the numbers were missing. It was a mess. So just make sure that your team, if you are a manager or you're a staff member on that team, just go through and edit it. If you see any like typos or incomplete areas, just fill them in. I mean, it's really cool. You can make your own player profiles, like put their picture, like it's really nice if you really dig deep. If you don't, and no offense to Shelly, but like if you're a tech If you're not into tech and it's like you're messing some stuff up, it's going to show, and it's going to affect the Gamechanger and the scorekeepers. All right. What we're doing now is this lineup. The biggest issue we had last year was you get to the field and all you see, and this is like, I don't know why this was everybody's nightmare, but this is it. This is like what haunted everybody's dreams. I don't get it. But I mean, I'm understanding, this is the magic button here. Okay? Worst case scenario, you get there 5 minutes before the game starts, you didn't even sign up for Gamechanger scoring, and the coach is like, oh, dude, bro, Gamechanger, huh? You? Great. And you're like, I guess so, I don't want to forfeit, or whatever. This is the magic button. You're going to add from the bench. Every single team, as long as they're in this division, all of their players are there. As long as the manager has managed, right? If they haven't managed their Gamechanger, you're just dead in the water. You're going to get whatever junk that they put in. Like I said, you feed it good stuff, it's going to spit good stuff back out to you. This is the good stuff. It's on the left, right? That's the meat. You're either going to get a microwave dinner or you're going to get filet mignon. This is it.
It looks a little different on the phones than what your screen shows.
Yeah, how do you get the drop down?
It'll be there. It'll be on the bottom. Everything that's on the left is on the bottom of your screen. So this piece right here that I'm showing you is going to be on the bottom of your phones. It just has a little bit less because you have less screen space than I do. So if you click on lineup, home team, away team, it doesn't matter. You can clear the lineup, and then it'll be blank like it was, and then you hit add from bench. Once you hit add from bench, you can start to click the lineup. So the managers are going to give you those magical 2 pieces of paper, right? Hopefully it's the PDF file that Gamechanger prints out. If it's not, you're going to have to figure it out. You're going to, hopefully it's legible. Majority of the time it is, right? But sometimes it's not. Sometimes managers will put initials, AB, AB9, right? That's going to be, Anthony Brown, number 9. And you're going to have to figure that, you're going to have to decode that, right? Because some managers don't, they're just doing it right before, right? They made their decisions and they're putting it in there. So what this means is, as you select them, this is now going to be my leadoff hitter as I touch it. So if the second batter is way down here, he's going to be the second batter. This can be adjusted later. But if you want to be savvy about it, you'll push it in that order. You'll find them in the order that the manager made it. That will make your job a lot easier. So let's just select 9 batters randomly. Oh, maybe I made a mistake. Right? 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's put Mr. Moore in there. And then you're gonna click done. Did you see what happened? Look. They're all in the order that I touched it. Mr. Moore's last. Say I made a mistake. Or say that, the manager comes back. This happens too. Oh man, actually, I can't. Yeah, he's our star player. I put him at the bottom of the lineup. You can move them up and down. Right? So try to play with it, mess with it. It can be moved. I got everybody going. That was the move right there.
So from a manager's perspective, we're loading up our lineup beforehand, cooking lineup card PDF, putting that at home or at work, bringing
Correct.
that, and then giving that to the scorekeeper to get that.
And the umpire.
And
I used to print out.
yeah, like 3 copies there.
I used to print out between 3 and 5 copies.
Yeah.
I'd give them to my assistants. I would give them to the umpire, and I would give one to the scorekeeper. Or you're posting it up. I mean, it really depends. It's really, really easy. You can just print out a bunch of them.
But the drawback is you get there and then 2 kids don't show up and now you got it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we have something for that.
This doesn't show, player locations, does that matter?
We're gonna get to that.
Okay,
That's EA Trader.
okay.
Hold your horses there, Van Dyke. You said you had a question. What was that? Okay, sweet. So now you have this. If you start the game, this is gonna get locked in. Once you hit this button here, you hitting this button activates the game. It starts the game. Online, everything. They're gonna say this game is live. It is being scored. And what's gonna happen is this is gonna get locked in. So make sure this is correct. Once again, I say make sure this is correct before you hit and start pitching. Even if the game's already going on, If the pitcher pitches and you're not ready, don't hit this if this is incorrect. Because the process to undo it, which we will cover, is more difficult. Okay? And it happens. And it probably will happen to you. But I'm gonna give you what I use, and there might be some other better way, but there is a way. And it's very 2-bit, and it takes a little bit of patience, but after a while, once they go through the lineup, it fixes itself. Alright? But for right now, what we want to do is make sure this is correct. The next step, as you can see here, everything in the red, none of these positions are assigned. That's what it's notifying you. Right? So who's gonna play where? And that's this column here. So you can push these dots here, if that's on your phone, and each player can be assigned a position. See that box? So this is Mr. Moore, number 7. Where do we want him to be? All the positions are available. DH means they're just a designated hitter. They're not gonna play in the field. Extra hitter is pretty much what you're gonna live at if he's a sub or she's a sub. You're gonna just leave him as extra hitter. This button here, sub out of lineup, is when it's locked in. When you're locked in and the game is going and somebody subs out, you can hit this. But since our little league, luckily for you Gamechanger scorekeepers, you're batting the whole lineup. So you won't have to use sub. You can just change their positions as they go, but you don't even really have to do that either. It's just about how in-depth you want to be, right? So batting the whole lineup, if anybody tells you or you get kind of a traditional baseball manager, especially the older boys, they're gonna be like, oh, batting the whole lineup stinks. Not for Gamechanger scorekeepers. It's amazing. It's like set it and forget it. It's all good. But what you can't do is flip the lineup around. They can't sub a kid out in the field and then move them in the lineup, and you will see that. Alright, and we'll cover that too. But this is where you add their positions, okay? So we can just start to add, you can just go one by one if you want, and you're gonna see something on the screen. Look at where more is. Right? It's building this field for you. This is what you're gonna see with your eyes, or your person that is helping you is seeing. So you want to try to be as accurate as you can, but it's really not that big of a deal. Hey, Iggy. Hey, he knows where to go. You can just send him in. I'm teaching a class. Come inside the class. There's my play. So make sure that they're in the right spots, because when you get older, all of these stats matter, right? Or they're going to be generated. They're called putouts. Like if he gets a ground ball hit here and he throws him out here, he gets the putout, right? Like he made the play. But if you can also leave it blank if you want. It's not a big deal, especially Farm A. Like they're just changing because there's multiple outfielders. Like it's a mess. But in majors, it starts to become a big deal, right? You're basing off. You get into playoff baseball, you're gonna be basing off a lot of stuff. Like who's the shortstop, who's not, right? Or then when it comes to sub, where were they at? So just select one and then hit back. And then he stays there. Right? You can just do this for each player. And you can start to make your field. So let's do that for everyone. Just go in there and practice. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes and try to load up and get everybody into position. It doesn't. Just make sure that there's a name in every position. And if you look at the top, they're starting to turn blue. They're all getting fulfilled. Yeah, let's let Bolts be the pitcher.
And because we're, everybody, we've got this rolling, lineup, you can have batters that aren't assigned to a position. Starting. Right. Yeah.
Correct. So say someone didn't RSVP to the game, they walk up, and you've already done this. You can just hit add from the bench because we haven't started the game, right? What he was just saying. So if you had 9 players, you can only put 9 out there, right? Or I mean, I guess you probably could in Farm A, but I don't want to keep any exceptions for Farm A. So when we're older, there's only a certain amount of spots. So extra hitter will be 10. You're gonna just add from bench, and it'll add them right there, like this. Hey. How'd it go? What? Stop. It's actually filming over there, but you can use this one there. There's also some young gentleman there that would love your company. You got 1 hour.
It's the first thing you ever removed.
Now you see the relationship I have with my player. He's actually gonna come and help us to just show you how easy this can be. So these are the 2 people that didn't RSVP. I hit add from bench, right? So everybody got put in, and like how you were saying, where do we put them? They're just extra hitters. Even if they show up late, you can add them in, right? But they will go right at the bottom, right? They're not gonna be inserted where they want to be. Oh, your best player shows up late, you can't put him in and back cleanup. It's not gonna happen. They're gonna be back. They're gonna bat 10. So just add from the bench or sub in, things like that. So let's try to get everything on here. I'm actually taking that.
And then really never click create new player, because all of them should be in there.
They should, and they will. Downtown life, let's go. All right. So now everybody's there, and this is just one team, right? And it can be that smooth. You can be multitasking. Your child can come up and, Dad, where's my mouthpiece? Where's my sliding man? And you're doing this, or mom, right? And you can do this. The more and more you practice, the more and more it's going to be. What you want to do is make sure that this is what you see. After you type it in, you're going to look up. All the little angels are out there. Are they all in the same position? Great, right? Now you go to the other team. Let's wait till later. Alright, thank you, sir. Now we're gonna do it again, right? Let's add from bench. We're gonna click on whoever is there. Is that 9? 2, 4. We're gonna click done, and it's gonna generate it for us, right? Now we're just gonna go through each thing, click the player's name, pitcher, bat. Because when you go through this, you're going to see why this is important. Set it up prior. You don't have to, but if you do, it makes your job easier when the inning is over. Once again, to reiterate on what Eric had said earlier, show up early, set it up, get to the event, digitally get it downloaded in there, get the lineups. These iPads are portable. Walk around with it. Hey, I'm the scorekeeper. I'm the Gamechanger person. Let's make this happen. What's your lineup looking like? Right? I know they're like stressed. This is a competitive town. You don't want to approach this like person, but it's like, hey, you're helping them out. They should feel appreciative of what you're doing. So they're not going to shoot you down. So they should be able to do it and give you the information that you need. So 3 outfielders left field, center field, right field. So with all my rambling and teaching this class, that was not 15 minutes. All positions are set. The lineup is set. Even if I make a mistake, I can move them up and down. Right? He's the new leadoff hitter. You can switch the positions, you can go back. This is not concrete. It's all digital and you can move them around. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about lineups? This will be the single, yes?
How are you sliding it? For some reason, I don't know, do you hold it down?
Press and hold.
The 3 lines, you hold that and it goes up and down that way.
Oh, thank you. Need a big line part.
Or the person who's highlighted.
Because it has a little different than on the phone.
Okay, thank you.
Like that.
Yeah, it's a lot easier on my iPad.
That's why we
Okay.
purchased them for you guys. So when you're actually scoring the game, it's going to be much more luxurious than when you're scoring at your house. It's really nice. Any other questions? No? Hi, come on in.
So for the coaches, so this is the scoring, the coaches to make my roster
Wait,
in Gamechanger.
what about it?
Do I do the same thing to make my roster?
No, the rosters are pre-generated for you.
So that's the total thing, but for my lineup, so, I'm sorry, my lineup.
You
I
can,
need
but
my lineup.
unfortunately in the divisions they have not created it.
So
You
I don't-
can on your own to print it out, as Rip was saying,
Right.
to print it out for yourself, hard
So
copies.
I can't do Gamechanger in advance, I just have to have my lineup and give it to them.
You cannot.
Right, okay.
It has to be done before the game. That is the challenge that we're waiting for Gamechanger to grow.
Right.
But I mean, also their surveys, I've filled out a bunch of them. They did not add it to the organizations, they added it to the separate team. So, I mean, to each their own, we're waiting. It's all good. Gamechanger, please add pre-lineups to the organizations. You had a question, sir?
Oh yeah, do you need someone from each team on Gamechanger? Like home and away team to,
Correct.
or you do, so not just one person per game?
One person per game, or you can assign someone, but yes, if they wanna use their personal phone and they don't use this, it'll be tougher, but, I mean, you can add them. Or actually, no, that's wrong. You can add them on like travel ball, like if you have a separate team and you're doing something different, like for example, you're having a scrimmage, right? And you create an event and you wanna score it. Yes, you will have to add that person and say, you're the coach and she's the parent, you have to be added to the staff for her to actually score the game. But that doesn't, me creating the organizations and the iPads, everything's already loaded. All they gotta do is go up to the game. If you do something else on your own, personally, outside of Little League, that's on you. You're gonna have to add the staff member, that person. So like in travel ball, we had to add a parent each time. But I've made it really smooth for you guys, or the Little League has. Yes.
Bobby, and what is it? It's home has to supply the Gamechanger.
Correct. Home
The
team
home
has
team.
got a plethora of different things they have to do. They have to set up the field, they've got to score the game. Away team is doing scoreboard, pitch count, and the end of game stuff, cleanup. So, there will be new posting inside the dugouts, but yes, home team needs to supply the Gamechanger. So if you guys are still doing snacks, snack list, Gamechanger. It hasn't changed. This is something that they've done all the time. It used to be the scorebook. So home team did the scorebook. All we did was take the scorebook away and give you this iPad.
So we send our parent up 15 minutes beforehand at the score booth. We don't need to have a special password for our team to get into Gamechanger. It's right here. This is what they'll do.
Correct. And that is in the booths.
Okay.
It's posted up in the booth. The iPad will hopefully be in there. The worst case scenario is you gotta go to the boardroom and get the correct iPad. They're labeled. Everything is laid out.
I feel like I had like Braves 1, 2, 3 or something last year. But yeah.
I suggest way sooner than 15 minutes before the game starts.
Yeah.
Especially for a first timer.
What's the password? It's in the booth.
It's in the booth.
Yeah.
For sure. There's a binder up there. There's a Gamechanger binder in every booth, which I will go in and update too. But all the information in there is pretty good.
Hey, speaking of which, those passwords are probably on those binders sitting in the
I think
booth
it's
right
on the
now.
front page.
Yes. No, but I need the Yahoo sidebar. I need the Yahoo. But yes, all the information will be there for you. I promise. It will be there. You will be able to score a game, and that's where we're at right now in the training. And it's almost past the first hour, so we are ran. You guys ready to score? All right. So start the game. You're gonna click pitch, right? This is gonna open this big drop box. This is where you're gonna live right here. This is it. This is everything that you've been worried about for the past few days, right? You're just like, oh man, I don't know what I'm doing. This is it. This is all the options that you can have, okay? We got ball, call strike, miss, swing, miss. And look, the magic is, this is all the codes that you would have been writing. Backwards K and all these fancy things. They're all right there. So, realistically, you're just gonna be clicking these things. All these things that Eric loves, you know, and he's memorized, of course.
Oh yeah.
But you're just gonna click these things as the game is happening, right? And like I was saying, build a connection with the umpire, great job. And the crowd, right? You miss something, they're gonna help you here. So if you just click it, it's gonna start changing the stats. So you guys wanna look around to the stats. You wanna make sure and verify, you know, double, triple check twice before you cut once. You're gonna see, is that the correct batters? Is this the correct pitcher? Is this the correct inning? Is that correct what I just did? If not, there's an undo button right there because I was blocking with my body. Okay? Whenever you mess up, just hit undo. Whatever you do. And you can go back as far, like I've undoed, we've been in the 4th inning, I've undoed the whole jam. Right? Realistically, I printed this out. I mean, I'll tell you, it was a horror story. Like, it was just a mess. So what I did was, I just left it as it was. I started writing notes. And I went home, and I printed this out as far as it went. As far as I did it digitally. I printed this out. And then I just undid everything. And then I read this, and I literally, probably 8 o'clock at night, was entering the game from the scorebook, right? That is a more intermediate talent, but that's what I did. To make sure that we had what we needed, analytically, right? But what it is that's the undo button. You can go back, it's totally fine. So, when you start to play, and as you saw me do, this,
Bobby is also on the pitch. Undo is right there too. You use the hit pitch.
oh,
Undo is up top too.
oh sweet. Roger O'Keefe, everyone. They're gonna keep growing this. Gamechanger and the division part of the Gamechanger is still in beta. If anybody works in tech, like you know that's an ever-growing organism, okay? But it's launched and it's growing. The versions come out, I think, every couple of months they have a new version. Yes, it is.
Once you hit pitch, is it live already?
Yes, it should be. Your event will go live. But once you do scoring, there's a lot of red boxes. This is just the trainer.
Got it.
We're gonna make an event. We can do that after. That'll be later if you guys stay a little longer, because that takes a bit. And I don't want to confuse everything. Because some of these people this is the first time they've ever seen it. Cool? Those are the pitches. Once you get past a certain point, as you can see, this button here, this appeared, didn't it? It wasn't there before. You got a second strike.
This is the biggest mistake.
We learned, right? We learned, yes.
Time, does it keep track of time?
It does, right there.
So like max is 2 hours, right?
It'll just keep ticking. It's not gonna go backwards. It's going to go forward like a timer. It's a timer, not a expiration. You know what I mean? Hey, that would be awesome.
But then
We're gonna write that down, Rip.
You can do both, but you have to.
Dude, that is really good.
It will tell you the start time too when you start the game, like the start time when it starts. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, last year you had to physically go in and actually tell it to keep timer for you.
Yeah.
It looks like you have to click it.
That's good.
And you
See this?
start clock.
You can start it, game clock, reset, stuff like that. But it's not gonna go the other way. Yes.
Is that something you have to preset in the divisions? Because I know as it went, sometimes it was there, sometimes it wasn't, like the little zeros in it.
I think that was the bad beta.
Is that what it was?
I think it was.
I wasn't sure if it was something.
I
you had to
didn't check
preset.
that though, so that's a good thing that we could check after.
I think up in menu you can find it, but if it's not there, but I know it wasn't always there every time.
The other thing is, pitch count and start time is not official in Gamechanger. We have not added that to our Little League bylaw. The umpire is still holding that true, and then your partner up in the away person. It's not official. So we haven't adopted that. So I wouldn't overly concern yourself with the time and the pitch counts. Cool? So, back to the weather. Number one, as you can see, if something happened in the field, you can just click off this box. Pitch will always bring it back up. All you have to do is click off of the box, and the box will disappear. So going back and forth should be something that you're going to get very comfortable doing. Like I said, something appeared here. Rip was saying like, man, that was a big problem last year, right? Because there's some intricacies to drop 3, right? Does anyone know the first one? Like, why would this not appear? If somebody had 2 strikes on them, why would this box not appear?
Because the base is occupied.
Because the base is occupied. Burbank. Big money. So if somebody's on first base, you're not going to get a drop 3. And sometimes they'll do that anyway, because how often do the kids steal second base?
Unless not who knows.
According to Brent's team. Not the Angels. The Angels is running on everything. So just make sure that the base there's nobody there. Alright? How are you going to do drop 3? It gets very intricate. All these other drop boxes start happening. Okay? So this is how the pitches go. I'm going to go box by box. alright? Because this is the most important one. There's foul, right? So say something actually happens. It's 2 strikes. The kid hits the ball. The kid hits the ball into the outfield, right? He hits it to the left fielder and he drops the ball, right? How often do we see that? What's a play that we see the most? Kid hits the ball in the outfield, kid drops it and throws it where? Where's he gonna throw it?
Over the guy's head.
He overthrows second base, right? So what will we call this? So this is the second drop here, right? These little tags are for the spray charge. That is just very intricate. You don't have to worry about it. These are the trajectory of the ball. Like what did it do? Was it a ground ball? Did it fly in the air? Was it a line drive? Was it a bunt? Was it a pop fly? Right? Something like that. I think I actually looked it up. Pop fly is an infield ball that's hit in the air in the infield. A fly ball is a ball that's hit in the air in the outfield, right? But it really doesn't matter. It's just really what they give you the visual aid. What did the ball look like when it got hit? You don't have to concern yourself too much. It's just because what's the next box is going to lead you to. So we said he hit the ball in the air. It was a fly ball, right? And was the batter safe or out? That's your next choice, right? So we'll say he got a single. And then where did the ball go? So you can either drag this line, it's a mat like it's telling you, drag the ball where it went. So you could just drag your finger into wherever the ball went, right? Or you can select the person that missed it, or where the ball ended up going. Like if it bounced and then he caught it, so he's here. So John said, more than often than not, Mr. Thompson is going to throw it here, and he's going to overthrow it. What happens on that overthrow? They steal the base. This guy gets here. So what we're going to do is, we're going to move him here. And it's going to give you 2 options here. And you have to drop it in this bucket. So you can't say safe over here, but you can say safe here. You press and hold. If you miss it, he goes back to first. Right? What if you're doing this? What if there's a pickle and he's going back and forth? And he runs back and then he's out. Once you let go, he's out. But there's all of these lovely nightmares that come up. I don't know what that means. What did that mean? What does that mean? He was out on the last play. There was offensive interference. He's out on appeal. Like, it doesn't matter. Realistically. More often than not, in a pickle, he got picked off, right? But what if one of the kids got in his way? Right? Or what if he ran into the kid that was trying to catch it? Does anyone know how he would be safe? Where does the actual fielder need to be during the pickle?
Out of the baseline.
Out of the baseline and over the base. So that's something that you'll see too. You'll see, it's very rare, that's a one-off, and I probably shouldn't confuse you. More often than not, it's going to be picked off. But say we picked it off, and then what if there was an appeal? Like, who picked him off now? Who's the one that got him out? Who caught the ball and picked him off? Right? Caught it and tagged him. And it's like probably the first baseman, I'm sure. Right? Unless they were actually going through the proper rotation and they were interchanging and switching. And that's it. That's another thing. Like, are we really able to track all that? That's a lot to be tracking. Right? But that's the intricacies of Gamechanger. You don't have to know every single thing. Once you've selected it, see the ball? You can just hit done, and it will finalize the play. He's out. Now, the manager comes out. No. I challenge that. There's no way. He tagged him with his hand. His ball wasn't even in the glove, and the ball's rolling on the ground. He's like, oh yeah, you know what? I take it back. He's safe. It was that easy. All of that stuff that we just did was completely erased. So that's what I'm telling you. The moral of the story is, it's super easy. You just go back, delete it, and try again. Right? It's not a big deal. Alright? So the next thing is, now the game starts happening again. How do I get it up? How do I do this? Hit pitch. The game begins and starts to continue. On and on and on for the next 2 hours. Right? You're going back and forth. What you're going to get is this right here. You see what happened? Threw a ball. Timmy throws another ball. what's gonna happen on those balls? All the divisions. What's this guy gonna do?
Steals.
He's gonna steal. Here's the drop box. Does anyone know what the difference between a wild pitch and a pass ball is?
Ooh.
Yeah, good catcher. Yeah.
Pass ball means the catcher should have caught it. Or you feel, as the scorekeeper, that they could have caught that ball, right? Wild pitches, just that moon ball. Just in the stratosphere, right? The catcher's like, ah! That's wild pitch. Defensive interference. How do they get defensive interference?
With glove.
The glove, the catcher's glove could come out. This person could have been in the way of the steal, right? Say he got actually tagged out. The kid's all pumped up. Yeah! You're out. But the base is here and the kid was right here. Right? Now they're safe. They have to be here and then tag them. That's how it is. It doesn't actually go that way all the time, right? It just doesn't. But that's what this button is. Fielding error. There was a throwdown. Could have been out. Second baseman mucked it up. Right? Those are the options. More often than not, just give the kid the steal. Right? If we're looking at this stuff later, if it ever goes to like use for all-star voting, like that's a cool thing. And also as a manager, analytics I use not so much competitively, but to motivate the kids. We gave away the Eli De La Cruz sliding mitt. So this stat was used to determine which player got that. So we put that in the hands of the Gamechanger person, right? So the kid that ended up getting it was the one with the most steals at a certain point in the season, right? So those are just little things that you can add to make the game better, or to make the game fresh for these kids that now wear neon things, right? And necklaces and stuff that I don't think any of my coaches would have let me wear. So now we're here, right? Let's see what else we got. Watch this. This is the batter. He hits the ball. He hits a fly ball. He hits a triple. He hits it to center field. It did stuff automatically, right? But there's stuff that could have happened, and you have to answer these questions, right? Did this guy make it, or was he out? Let's say he was safe. And then there was an error, and this guy went home, and he was safe. How did he get there? You have to get used to just answering these questions quickly, right? It's a lot of pop-ups. It's like the old VH1 music videos. It's like, beep, beep. Every time you move it around, beep, beep, new box, new box, new box. So just pick something. It doesn't have to be like, if you are a type A, super technically minded person, you know what I mean? It's gonna be bothersome. Well, I don't know which one it was. I don't know if he stole, or I don't know. Was it the fielding error that, like, don't battle yourself with it. Just pick one.
It's an E5. E5.
E5?
Yeah,
What does that mean?
exactly.
Okay.
That's the whole scored book. That's how easy it is.
Oh, E5.
E5, throwing error on the third baseman.
Error on the third base.
Or E2, error on the catcher. So easy.
So now you can see, and I wish that they would make this bigger, but they don't. Now they have 2 runs, right? And on your phone, it's probably a little bit bigger, but on the iPad, it's very small, right? So like, if you ever have to like change things around, you can always override it in menu. You see this? You can start to change things around. It will affect the scorebook, but at least it'll be accurate at the time. So if you mess up something, completely mess it up. just abandon it. You can just change this and move on to the next inning, right? Because what's another thing? What if I scored, I mean, people in majors, sorry, this isn't gonna happen, but like, I'm messing this up.
You missed your one somehow.
It's just this spot. So for example, if they score 5 runs and there's not enough outs, that's another thing that confuses first timers. Like, what do I do? So we would change this to 5, but my finger won't let me. it'll be 5, right? So they get to 5, and you just have to end the half of the inning. And then this bubble pops up. Whenever you push that. What's gonna happen is this magic. If you didn't enter the fielders prior to the game, it'll be completely empty. But we didn't. All the names are changed. Everything changed for you. It flipped over, right? Sometimes people get confused and they just leave it. They're like, I don't know what to do. How do I switch it over? It didn't do it automatically. It can, if everybody gets out. It'll do it automatically and it'll pop up for you. Oh, I didn't do that right. Ball in play, line drive, batter out, line out to the pitcher. Done. So it's gonna happen 2 ways. Either you force it to happen, or you actually produce the outs, right? Yes, you can go back and change it. That out is not an out. Now we're back. Everything switches back. So it's all interconnected. You guys have any questions about the scoring?
But if you do it out, you're gonna move the batting over.
It will. It's gonna keep it on that same batter no matter what, where it's already locked in.
So doubles are gonna get where you got one person, or let's say 3 guys scored, somebody hits a triple with 3 guys on.
Correct.
You're gonna end up hitting a triple. It's gonna show them, shoot, they scored 6 runs that inning on that triple, but you wanna end the inning. That's where you have to go through and change that back to 5. And
That's a
swap.
he's talking about a very intermediate thing. So say, what he's saying is the batter actually hits a triple, right? The 5th run scores. The triple person is the 6th run, right? Or they're gonna score that 6th run on that hit. And the kids on the field are gonna be all pumped up. And the worst one is when you have to take a home run away from a kid, right? The bases are loaded. This kid hits a nice shot to right field, and the right fielder just mucks it up, and they all score. And this kid's just running all around the bases, and that's so that statistically, he's not gonna get the home run. He will lose out on it.
Unless you're the parent doing this game changer.
Unless you're his parent.
Home run!
Well, realistically, you could do it.
It's clear, it's
like
all clear.
John's like, now I just thought of it. You could leave it, go back into the next inning, manually change the score back 1 run. So that stat would still be there for the single player, but the run would not be there. It would not be on the scoreboard. So that's a pretty intricate thing. Burbank, your fans here.
The reason why I bring it up is it happens quick. While you're doing
It does.
you're a game changer, all of a sudden you're doing scoring. Next thing you know, you're like, crap, I scored 6 runs all of a sudden on accident.
Correct.
You don't have to hit undo. You can leave it all in there and just change the score back. It'll tell them what happened, but the score will be.
And these are all one-off. These are specific one-off situations that will happen because of all the different scenarios that can happen in a baseball game, right? But for every scenario that's created like that, there's a backdoor to it. You can go back and you can fix it, and it's not that difficult.
Hey guys, and I will say, Bobby mentioned it, but please, if you get to where you're confused, ask, hey, I need time. And it's stressful. I've been there last year. My wife is like, she knows how to do it, but she doesn't want to do it because it's stressful. The parents are looking at you. The kids are looking. Everybody stops and looks at you. Right? Everybody's waiting for you to get it right. Ask for a second. You know, like we teach law enforcement, take a deep breath. Think about what you're doing, one thing at a time. Try to fix the thing in front of you, and then go to the next. But don't hesitate to ask for a second, because again, it does snowball. If you get 1 play behind, it's going to be 2, it's going to be 3, and eventually you're going, oh shoot, this whole game's screwed up. So ask for a second.
And that's a relationship that you'll build with the umpire. So refer back to the divisions. So this is the scorekeeping. Right now, I'm gonna walk around and throw some stuff out there for you guys. I was gonna use my player to do this, but he seems to be having a good time. So let's just clear this off. Let's just start over new in this inning. So we got a batter up. He's seen 4 pitches, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And then he gets a hit. So what you're gonna see is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Oh, however we saw it. I don't really do the whole, looking, swinging. It's very intricate that I don't want to do any of that. A strike is a strike to me, right? So he hits a single. See, I just messed up. He hits a single, so we hit ball in play. So he hits a hard ground ball, and he hits it right past the shortstop, and it goes into center field, and he gets a double. So how do we do that? And I'll walk around and see. You guys have any questions? Let me know. Where you at, Roger? Double. Good. Where did it go? Nice. Nice. So drag it. Drag it or click the center fielder. Good. Good. Thanks, Charlie.
Hard ball.
So go back. You hit single.
Oh, you hit
So
double?
undle. Yeah, you hit a double. See? So that happens. Yep. Double. And now where did it go? Good. There it is. Come on, DeRosa. Where you at? Good. Nope. Single. You hit single.
Dress him out. Put some pressure on Bobby. Put some pressure on him.
I know. Walk around with the bat.
Game situation, guys.
Yo, create it up. You help
Coach
out,
your kids. Game situation, Riley. Put some pressure on him.
Okay, tech savvy. Look at you. Nice. Nice. Nice.
Hurry up, guys. Umpire's waiting. What's going on?
What is going on?
Let's go.
He's trying to take my job. He's trying to take my job. You guys got it. All right. Okay, let's try to do something more intricate. So he hits a hard ground ball. So what you guys should have did was hit double. What I saw was people mistyping this. It's okay to mistype it, and it all looks the same. Then when you did this, he only went there, right? So that was a mistake. So just undo, and it takes you back to before he hit it. Your ball in play, hard ground ball, double, and you can either drag it or you can just click the guy's glove. Whoever got the ball. It's the same thing. But on the spray chart, it's gonna look like the kid just caught it. Like the ball went right where he was standing. Right? On a spray chart. That's very intricate. We don't have to go there. You can just put whatever you want. It's not gonna matter. The next one is, how can we get a person that gets the full count and then they hit it inside the park home run? Let's try to find it without me giving you guys the answers. So the kid gets the full count. Does anybody know what stat is created by a player getting the full count? What was that? Yeah, but what is the stat that they get? It's called a quality at bat. I learned that through Gamechanger. I'm like, wow, what is the stat? Quality at bat. So if your child is growing, or your player is growing, or one of your players is growing, and they're constantly getting to 3-2, that's a stat. Quality at bat. They are a quality batter, whether they get out or not. That they got that far. Whether they're fouling balls off, or they're taking pitches, and they're seeing and they're tracking, that's a really great growth moment. But did you guys find Inside the Park home run?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you find it? Nope, you haven't found it. There, you're close. There it is. Bam, good job. Come on, Charlie, you're already trying to score a real game? You found the spray chart, yes. So that's spray chart for that player.
So I had a question.
Yeah.
On the mobile app, it doesn't have the drop-down menu for menu. Is that
Menu will be here. That's menu. The dots. Yeah. Cool, did you find it?
Yeah.
Nice. So did everyone find Inside the Park home run? You sure? Alright. So, why I bring that up is because different trajectories of where the ball went will give you different options, right? Like Inside the Park home run was in fly ball, pop fly, right? Or possibly line drive. Yeah, it can be line drive, but it might not be in every single one. So you have to find it where the trajectory was. So like, where did it go? Most likely you're gonna get it inside the park, the home run go like that. So these are the things that are happening. Now we're at 4 runs, right? Does anyone have any questions? This is, I mean, I could spend hours and I made you guys a glossary. That that was this packet here. I mean, I didn't make it, but I found it. This is the glossary. You can go through all this. This has sack fly, drop three, every single scenario that you guys could have. I will, as suggested, I'll find that PDF file and I'll put it on either our board or I'll get it out to you guys somehow through our media support. But right now, the only references you guys are gonna have is what you learned in the class and then on the video. Alright? So we're getting close to time. So sub out of lineups. So if you're subbing out of a lineup, right? You're going in the game and you're subbing somebody out. You shouldn't have to do this with batting a continuous lineup unless the umpire or the manager has batted out of turn. In the lower divisions, you need to say something, right? You can gently remind them. That batter, say, you know, what do we have here? I know it's tough, I know you don't want to say anything, but Moore or Underwood is now batting and it's supposed to be number 13. The only way you're going to see it is the player's jersey number, right? Because we don't, even on the play, as a player agent, I don't know everybody, they say I do, but I don't. There's no way. I look at their jersey and 13's not coming up, 25 is. You gotta say something. You gotta be like, hey, batting out of order. Like that's not the batter. And they mess up. They're managing the games, like they do that. You know what I mean? I don't know if anyone's doing that competitively to have their top hitter come and bat, you know, near the end or skip over someone. I'm not gonna accuse anybody of doing that, but those types of things happen. Okay? And when they do, it'll mess everything up. Right? It'll mess up your whole lineup. The only way to do that is, and to rectify it, and this is the intricate part, is you have to sub everybody else out. Right? This is not going to happen to you that often. The only remedy, if somebody's out of order, right, and it's all messed up, is you have to sub everybody out. And then, as they come up, you're going to set the batter up here at the top. And you're going to add the correct batter. Sub out, pinch hitter. And then their name will be here on this list. Okay? And you're going to build your lineup. As awful as it sounds, it is just as awful. You're in the middle of this game. You're waiting for each batter to come up. It has to be the correct batter. And you're subbing in the next one. So that's why I say have the courage to say something to the manager. Because it's going to make the game awful for you. Not anybody else, because none of them know what's going on. Because you don't want them to, because it would be embarrassing. Right? You don't want them to like, they're like, oh man, that helps. Dude. That person in the booth, they're really messing this up. They're gonna take another timeout? Dang. They're ruining the whole momentum of the game. No. Catch it before it happens. In majors, we should already be seasoned enough to get this down. If a manager does it, the player is out. But we cannot inform them about that. The umpire has to catch it. That's why we're giving them the lineup. Right? They should be checking those things. That's a pro move. Right? If they want to okey doke and make that happen, and their best batter gets a bat out of turn and bat more times, hey, can't do anything, it already happened. Right? They have to catch that stuff. But in the lower divisions, you don't want to have this problem during the game, especially in the heated moment of the game. Because that's when it's going to happen. It's not going to happen right at the start. It's going to happen at the end. Alright?
And that's actually one of our bylaws in the rules that as a scorekeeper, you cannot say anything to the coaches and the umpire. The umpire has to recognize it. So I'm not sure if we have any major scorekeepers here, but yeah, if you're doing that and if you notice it, you can't say anything.
The AAA and lower, you can't say something? The scorekeeper can't say something?
They can. The bylaw is majors only. The majors games. Cool. Anyone have any questions about how to go through this intricate? It's up to you guys. I brought pins so that you guys can come up here and I will ask you to do something in front of the class, and you can get a pin for it. Anybody have courage? Do it in front of the class. If not, you guys can take a break. Johnny B, we got 2 pins ready. All right, let me see it. Drop 3. Drop 3 for a Hollister Little League pin. Let's go. Johnny Van Dyke, everybody. Yeah, kid gets the full. Yeah, there you go. Drop 3. Drop 3 swing is always what it is. Who messed up, Johnny? Was it the catcher? Was it the pitcher? Nice work.
Sweet.
There it is.
did you ever see, because it was kind of quick, did you see what John had to do first? He had to select 2 pitches for 2 strikes first before the drop third came up as an option. So he picked strike, and then the drop third became available as an option to pick.
So it's like this. But now it's not there, right? But why was it not there? Yeah, this player's here. But if this player's there and they steal, now there's 2 strikes. Look what appeared.
Yeah.
See? I know it's fast, but that's what it's gonna kind of be like. Anybody else want to try their hand at something? Get a pin? Hollister Little League pin? Yes, in the corner. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's see. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Out of the park home run. Over the right field fence. Ooh, gotta go back. What did he do? There you go. Nice. Undo. You're welcome. Have a good day. Yeah. Nice. Good. Over the right field fence. You could just push it. Just tap right. That one. Yep. There you go. Good job. Here you go, sir. Anyone else, or you guys want to answer questions? Oh, Vin is up. Vin is up. Vin is up. All right. This one's gonna be great. All right. 3-0 count. The batter hits a single, but makes it all the way to third.
Yeah.
Nope. 3-0 count. Gotta undo. I don't know if he
Oh, 3-0.
3-0. He's swinging on 3-0. He hits a single, but he makes it to third. But he makes it to third.
The third? Where does he hit it to?
He hits it to center field. Nice. But he makes it to third. Nice.
Yeah, that's right.
See? And they're not gonna tell you.
Blue. Hold on.
Very good, yeah.
More often than not, what's gonna happen?
Parents gonna
What
say
about
triple.
Yeah, exactly. Good hit.
Bob will say it's a triple.
There you
Yeah.
go. I'm gonna say that was triple.
The spray chart's really good. All the
So
charts.
this is it.
Why is all the Angels have triples?
This is what he's debating right now. He's like, oh, this is what's gonna happen in the game.
It could be error, it could be.
Exactly. It's to your discretion on what did you see? Did the third baseman miss it from Jackson? Did Jackson throw it to the batting cages? Like, what happened? Most likely it'll be the throw. From who? Because what he's doing right now is gonna give the error to the person.
It's gonna be a center fielder since he hit it to the center.
Exactly.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be that interesting. If you're just pushing the buttons, it's not gonna matter. But when the boys get older, I mean 16, 17, 18, thanks a lot, man. It's gonna matter, right? Or if I were coaching a team or managing a team and I was doing it, I would do those types of things, right? But those are the types of intricate moments that we have, okay? And the last one, who can tell me, well, raising their hand, how do you get a quality at bat step? Oh, there we go. How do you do it? 3 and 2 count. Good job.
Thank you.
You're well, nice catch. All right, you guys can take a break. Just 10 minutes. You gotta make a call, answer some texts. If you guys can come back at 2:40, and then we'll try to get this done by 3 o'clock. All we have left really is you guys watching a game. I'm gonna put a game on the screen, and you're gonna score it. Okay, and I'll walk around making sure you guys got it down. All right. So please enjoy yourself. Get some refreshments. Drink some of that coffee. Let's go to work.
Nice.
Thank you. You're awesome. Thanks for coming back. So what I'm hearing is you guys want to do this. You guys want this to work. Is what I'm doing.
I didn't recognize you from over there. Oh, just like sitting kind of funny, and then thank you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you too.
Good. I think it went well. Yeah, I think we only had like 2 other coaches no show. Now everyone showed up. We did the binders, the equipment, shit all day. How's the water over there? I got any equipment,
He's
and then
thinking
I'll
I'm
do
gonna
this.
use them, fall for that.
Back to work. Oh, 18 cents.
Automatically puts that back forward.
We got a great deal. Great deal, like $1,500 cheaper than
Actually, as you get, you got an actual
Dick's and that stuff.
So you might have to remind them all, right?
Well, I got all that everything put in yesterday. Cancel that section order. Amazon, I can get stuff.
It's not their place.
Formatting and either stuff. And then realizing that maybe
I would say the umpire, if the umpire
we
looks
assumed
back
that
and asks
Mitchell
you,
and Joe
hey,
Ricky assumed that
is this
it
a
was
lot of
Triple A
mistakes?
and Majors had their
You know, I would say that's a good thing.
yeah, that would be Triple A and double A.
Like, hey, actually, like you saw it, like, hey, actually, you know,
Yeah.
focus on this and how.
I guess we're just used to like travel and
They're after that. I wouldn't like give that unsolicited.
the teachers every Farm I and Farm A have all their teams next to that.
If they verified that, I would say yes. Because you can actually see it. You're right behind them.
Okay, so maybe Wilson back in all of our catches here. So I'm telling me, I was on both of them on Wednesday confirming that ship, second air. And yeah, everything shit. If you go to the warehouse, she didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. He said, I'm in the packing list. Put away the Conex and all 18 sets back on. So we got two bigger sets and then two smaller sets.
Yeah, cheese and crackers, everything.
That portion of it. I go online. Rollins is a really good set. Rollins is so Rollins has a quick catcher set with the field guard, which we had to buy separate.
I eat three, I'm not a
Knee
snacker.
savers, which knee savers like $40.
I eat 3 meals a day. Like, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm making my eggs and toast. And then
I'm so surprised. The biggest
pack a lunch for dessert, and then we have supper every night.
And this is
I just don't need a snack.
I was
So we save like $1,500 off Amazon,
So I forget part of that's a real thing for them. They just constantly breathe, so they want to see something in their
we
mouth.
anticipated like the AAA and major kids having more stuff, but talking around like college and some of the seasoned managers in the AAA, you're welcome pitchers here. They didn't have it, so, which I mean, that's fine, that's what we got it for, but they took, it's all running sets of gone.
I would just,
So, fortunately, they just sent me all the, and no catcher goes on Thursday, and all of a sudden they came out. These catcher goes on.
oh, really?
yeah, that's what he said. Yes, he ordered it.
No, I was telling him we went to Wilson, but, you know, we saved like $1,500, but all this headache.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
Nice, it sounds nice in front.
What do y'all been doing?
He's from, Davenport. We asked him about time and, like, time change and all this. He's like, I'm in Wilmer, Davenport. Shit, you're right here. Where's your warehouse? I'm going to Kentucky and the one in Tennessee. She's like, talking to customer service. But it's like, one of them was specific to your rep. So I called customer service and they couldn't, because my rep wasn't answering. And they couldn't tell me. Amazon near 10 minutes. Yep. So I guess they were saying they do it every third.
It's a nice box. I saw it yesterday. There's actually number 7.
They do it,
My guy!
regardless. So like if there's only one or two, they'll still get it.
Yeah, buddy.
Who has access to the manager's list? I'll send it to you. I have the link. So if you do that, then like a bunch of people in the area. Yeah, I've got like 3 or 4 to send it there, so I'll forward it to you. Yeah, that way you go in there and. One question they had was, like, when do we send Did we find out who we sent it to? We get like 20. Was it sponsored through the county? So he said to contact emergency services. They may I don't know if we should have one. What I'll do is I'll contact Hayes Hawkins, because my wife works there. I'll contact the lady I got that first aid kit to, and she should know at least the number. I know Narcan's cheap, we should have some Narcan. I would assume they would. So they gave us probably like 5,000 to go.
Okay, thanks, Charlie. You ready, Vince, for the year or what?
All right. Let's start to settle in. We'll wrap this up. We've got about 25 minutes left. I'm happy to stay after too. Alright, let's settle in, let's get back to our seats. We lost about maybe 15% of the group, so those will be the people that are going to be asking you questions. Keep that in mind. I mean, I get it. Thank you guys for coming on your Saturday. I think that's top-notch stuff. I know that I couldn't cover everything, but just know that I'll be there for you. You guys are great people. They're going to need your help. People doing this for the first time are going to need your help. It's going to be an alarming amount of people that are going to be thrust in this position to help score, right? We do that with everything. You've never drug a field before. You've never managed a team before. That's what Little League Baseball is all about. You know what I mean? The more we have, the better the product that we're going to put out. You know, so thank you so much for being here, like I said, on a Saturday afternoon. Okay, back to the weather. Some facts for you. What I've created for you guys and what you're going to see is this. When you go into the game, you're going to select your division, right? There's only going to be 4 options. Going to be majors, AAA, AA, Farm A. After the scheduler and the player agents approve the schedule that has been made, we're going to import your games, and they're going to look like this. Right now, nothing is imported into your divisions. Your schedules have not been released. Yada yada yada. All the managers that have changed their team name have now made my job more difficult because it is an Excel file from our registration site. It has your team name on Sports Connect as whatever the original one was. Padres Farm A. If If you went in there and said, you're the San Benito Padres of Hollister, that's what you wanted to change it to, guess what? When I import that file, your schedule will not be there. So I will have to go into that file and change it back. Or change it to whatever you wrote. You know, uppercase, lowercase, all this stuff. So that's something that we're going to make the adjustment for next year. But if you've changed your team name, or if your manager has changed that team name, that would be really helpful to us if you could get them to change it back. Because what it's going to do is import these games for you. These are called events, right? They're going to be on your schedule, or as Josh and other people have, you can see, this is actually my personal game changer. You're going to see, like, if I went to this.
That's Bobby in a nutshell right there.
You can see I'm a fan of certain teams. But that's the other thing. You can become fans, you can become family members. That's at the end. But if you see these things, you're going to see, like, this is a single team, right? You can see their schedule. Like, tomorrow we're going to have a meet and greet, right? But for a game in the division, which is what is relevant to you guys, is you're going to see these standings here. These are going to be very important for the board and for the managers. They're going to be able to see where they're at. The schedule is going to be here. You're going to click the event, and this is going to pop up. This is it. Judgment Day. Boom, boom, boom. You're here. You're going to click this button, score head-to-head game. And it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to do this? And you're going to say yes. And then now we feel familiar. You guys coming to this clinic, now when this pops up, it looks very familiar, right? But now it's real. It's all real information. Where's my point? It's all real information. As you can see, there's nothing preloaded in here, unfortunately, right? You can get a lineup card here. You can scan it in. I mean, if somebody wants to show me that, that'd be great. But more often than not, and what you're going to tell somebody that is even newer than you are, is just hit this button. Because once I do, these are all real people in this league. This is what? The Braves? This is the Braves, right? So we're going to just start clicking through them. This is a real event. If I finalize this and hit this button, someone in Farm A right now probably got notified that this game is live. Right now. They did, and they're freaking out. I actually had a manager, I was getting ready for this clinic, and I made a majors game, and I think I got 3 parents from the Rangers, and then a manager from the other team, like, hey man, is there like some event going on right now? Like, everyone was at work, got notifications that their team was playing. Yeah, so anybody that's on your family or fans, they're gonna get notifications when your games are playing. Gamechanger is for real. But according to, to get this done, this is how the divisions work. How I just set that up is exactly what your scorers and what you will see before the game. What you need is their lineup. And you don't need their lineup because you need the names. You need to know where they're going to be. Where they're going to be positioned in the batting order. Where they're going to play in the field. Set that stuff up. As you can see, it doesn't take 15 minutes to do that. It might take you 15 minutes to get the information from the managers. It might take you 15 minutes to do it as a whole. But it's not going to take you 15 minutes once you have all the information to set it up because you've been here today. Okay? That is how that goes. Now we're going to watch something. We're going to watch TV. I'm going to set you guys up with a game that I've already watched. So whenever you're in this is another thing too. Because games are going to end suddenly, right? They might be in the middle of something or the end of an inning, right? You have to hit game over. And it's going to ask you some questions. Some of this won't matter, right? Because I haven't had anybody pitching. It's going to say winning pitcher, losing pitcher, who got the save, who blew the save, right? That's not, if you want to make that decision for the teams, go for it. The managers can go back, or I can go back, and I did that for the upper divisions last year. I actually put the wins and losses, right? Because later on, you can skip it if you don't want to add it, and then exit the game. All this stuff will become final. It'll all lock in, right? And then it'll start to update the stats throughout. The reason why I put that is because in the divisions and why I made an organization. It builds this stuff for you. One day, I hope for the vision of our league, if me and Eric can spend enough money, maybe we can put this up somehow, electronically. These kids can see that stuff. It's not just a sticker on a board where they hit it out of the park home run. You can see who has the highest on-base percentage, who has the most hits, who's the Cy Young. We can do things like that. And this is all very far-fetched and very forward-thinking. But when we make divisions, how I have done, and use that intricate part of the app, it creates things for people. And for your player. You can just break it down and just give them one little thing, right? Hey, your on-base percentage is double than what it used to be. So that is why I chose divisions, to make it more streamlined, okay? So if you guys can exit out of your apps, go back to exploring scorekeeping, or you can click up, I think there's a setting somewhere, I don't know exactly where it is, maybe an account, let's say practice scorekeeping, but I usually would just sign out, and then hit the scorekeeping, and then click baseball. And then let's get here. All it is not names, I just want you guys to practice while you're actually watching a baseball game. So when everybody's ready, everyone's ready? Alright.
Play ball.
Play ball.
The course of a long, long summer. But now it's baseball, and that's what these guys
And I'm
do
blue,
best.
so if you need to call a timeout, call a timeout.
The West is the home team, which means the kids who we're going to see first, Texas. Let's meet them. It is brought to you by PNC Bank. The lineup has McCray at the top, and then Dalen Martin, DJ Jablonski. For as good as the top 5 hitters have been for California, they need to get the top of this order going. They have not.
Bobby,
in fact,
can you pause real quick?
each for
Can you pause real
McCray,
quick?
Martin, and Jablonski.
Yeah, that's exactly.
So that's what your lineup's going to look like. The 3 on the bottom, because we do a continuous batting order, means everybody bats. Those 3 on the bottom don't have a position. That's going to be your extra hitters.
Yeah.
Not going to be DH. It's going to be your EH, extra hitter. So that's what your lineup looks like. 10, 11, 12 don't have a designated spot on the field. They'll be your EH, but they will bat.
Because it's not going to show up blank. It will show EH on the screen.
At 111, those top 5 hitters, and they're up against a team that can really rake. Think about Texas, and they've not seen Luis Lappy.
And Lappy on the mound is a big kid, man, 6'1". He throws real hard. And it has some, as his coach gets close to him. He is certainly an intimidating presence at 6'1", very much like Helmer was. Huge lefty. Here we have a huge right. Yep, we've waited a long time, 12 years for this, and we are now underway with the first pitch. Ball, strike 1. Chapter McCray, left-handed hitting.
Remember, you don't have to do it every time. Look, now there's dead time. Let's match up.
5 feet. On the ground to second. Lee, nice play. Can he get him? Howard is the call at first base. Close play.
This would be the time when I would start scoring. Right? People are clapping. Dead time. Now they don't move.
Could have stayed on his feet there. But a beautiful play nonetheless. From
So to
one
me,
knee,
this would have been
bang
one.
bang play at first. Good start for
1-0.
California.
Sure was,
The ball
and
was
yes,
a
it
strike.
was a good
One
call
pitch.
as well. Here,
It was a line
David
drive.
Martin. He's the
Went to the
shortstop.
second baseman.
Fired that
He
long
got the
ball
ball.
1.
Rob, you talked about the offense.
So
and then
what I
even
usually do
production
during these
out of the
times is
top
I'm
5, but
verifying
they
here.
have defended
We have nice
so
scoreboards
good
at our
against
fields.
Martin.
Look at the
There's
scoreboard.
another
Make a
chance.
match.
Yep, he fields that one on a knee, and a good job by Colby Lee. 2 up, 2 down. And McCray and Martin unable to get on, but they did swing and make contact.
As you
It
know,
doesn't
you're
matter.
second
It has
base,
to
you have a
be
little
4
more
pitches,
time.
2
You don't need a
outs.
hard throw over there.
Undo.
Might as
Go
well
back.
knock it down with all your might. Use all your body.
You want to try to be as accurate as possible. I know you guys are just starting
Just
out,
don't panic.
but that is always
And
a
now it is
goal.
DJ Jablonski. He will be the pitcher. He took California out of the yard on a beautiful swing earlier this week.
Right.
And it was a fastball. That was an off-speed pitch on the corner for a strike.
We've seen this whole Little League World Series. Pitchers are throwing curveballs. First pitch doesn't matter who it is.
Outfield, as you see, deep here at Lomity. Next one off the plate, 1 ball and 1 strike. DJ he's got some sisters that are Taylor Swift fans, so he's sort of being accused of being one. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but he acknowledged, like, no, I'm not really that much. His mom says, well, he thinks she's pretty, so therefore he's a fan.
Sounds about 12 years old.
He's into the girls already, love it. Nothing wrong with being a Swiftie.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 5-3, 130. DJ. A little tradition, he likes to go with a turkey sandwich, pickles, and cheese before each game.
To that note, they went peanut butter and jelly against California, and they won 3-1. So
He ordered.
I'm curious what he ate this morning.
He's choking up here with a 1-2 count. And he reaches out, slow roller. Brooks has a great arm. Oh, did he hold on to it too long? He might have. And Jablonski called safe at first. End of the bat, and Brooks, who has an absolute cannon, took an extra step.
Just a slight hesitation here. Did everything right. Took an extra hop. That's all he needed to beat that throw out at first base.
How about TJ just get out of the box? As soon as he made contact on a half swing.
Very close play.
No, they haven't scored. That's the score.
Right field towards the line. Salazar looks. Oh, if he could have been able to jump, it went off right where the fence and the collar meet.
Why you gotta be almost scared of AAA?
This would have been an amazing play because you're right. He would have had
I'd be all happy and pumped up.
2 inches.
Yeah,
He would have made that catch.
So you excited?
I know he caught it. Great defensive play.
6'1", 12-year-old.
He threw out a runner from center field on a strike to Jamal.
Nice pitch.
That's a good pitch. 0-2. This guy hit a grand slam back in the first game of the regionals. On the ground, a second hard one, and Lee had to go off his glove. They're both safe. He couldn't make it 3 for 3. That was a shot off the bat on. We'll give him a hit.
Tell you what, this team's being aggressive. Opposite what we saw earlier today. They're getting the fastball they want. They're not taking any time.
That's a weird
On the ball. Tough play by Leo, but they're not taking it.
Thank you.
Android apps?
Yes, very hard.
That was an error. That was a, yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Give him a hit.
Here we go, the great debate.
Your glove touches it, you should catch it.
That was an error.
Heck yeah. If he'd have moved his feet better, he would have got over position, he would have caught it.
Texas, great debate. When they had the opportunity,
Bobby, when do we get the pickle?
4 more than any other team.
Yeah, the pickle, shoot.
And it's
Score
Maybe
that.
next year I'll find a game with a pickle. All I had to do was pick any Angels game from last season.
Cam.
I didn't want to be that guy though. I didn't want to be Cam.
Or was that view of Lappy?
It was the
It's like to
TOC
be in the
game.
batter's box against 6'1", how quick it gets on you.
Wild. Feel like I
Right now,
didn't
Texas
take
showing they can make contact.
Ollie Parks in left field is shaded way off the line, and he couldn't hold up there. That pitch is in there for a strike. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes. The outfield definitely with the power of Lappy on the mound, shaded towards right. He's ready to go again. Missed.
Just his statue out there. He's a monster. I mean, coming into your kitchen, he's got to get more extension on that 46 feet. That's lower than 46.
Bench choking up again. 2-2. I'll get straight back. These kids work with machines because adults will acknowledge we can't throw as hard as these little leaguers. Like, we're not capable of that. So they have these fast pitch machines that help train these kids, and certainly here they have access to them. 2-2. This one left field, and catch by Parks. He saved 2 runs.
So right when you
And throws a Sports Center
finish
top
up
10
and
play.
get done, it should cue you up to switch to the next inning.
Infield play, but let's be real.
That's what we want. You need to switch it up. You need to wait and wait for them. And then the pitcher's gonna pitch. You're gonna do all that fun stuff. Yeah, left field got that one. My family favorite here, DJ Jablonski.
To the up one or 2-0. Instead, it's still zeros.
Hopefully he makes it.
Everybody knows that Jablonski was the difference in the first game. And it's just a totally different California team, just as far as their ability to hit here recently. He gets the red-hot Brody Brooks to start, and the first pitch misses down 1-0.
See where Easton Bend just set up inside. That was kind of the game plan going against California and their win against him. Try to get in on the hands.
1 ball, 1 strike for the shortstop Brooks, who is 8 for 11. 8 for 11 here in Williamsport. 2 doubles, 2 homers. He has scored 8 runs. Wow. So Brody Brooks trying to punt.
That was confusing there, knowing how good he's hitting.
Mike
Pitcher did that big fella. I mean, listen, you're facing a guy for the second time, maybe something in your mind like, I need to try something different.
See what you're throwing, you know what I mean?
1-2 center field. Back goes Andrew. Third of the series for Brooks. California on top.
Give it all the answers, bro.
Absolutely incredible. Fakes a bunt, or actually fouls a bunt off and says, guess what? We're giving you the okey-doke right here. Next pitch. Try to get like George Pett's nephews on this team. Put the hands through, and it was up. When your timing is right, good things happen. Actually, that was way up. What a swing by this man. He is absolutely smoking hot.
These two are Brooks and Lappy. He now matches this with his 3rd homer.
That was crazy.
Though his Lappy is 6 for 13, he already has left 3 times for RBI. 1-0. Good break the pitch on the corner and down 0-2. And again, circle the play that was made by Ollie Parks in left field in the first. Off speed, right field. This one is playable. Colton Georgia. He's there for the out of Lappy.
On top, people always wonder, why do you swing the fastball up at the eyeballs? This is why. If you can get on time, get your hands to meet that pitch. It's so beautiful. Great way to get in here quick. That's exactly what Brooks did.
And a lot of people think that pitch right there, you can't get level on it. He just proved to you right now you can. Your swing is right, good things. God almighty, what a swing by him.
Oof, left on left. First pitch strike. Jackson Kalish. He's 5 for 9. He's got a triple and 2 RBI. Lucas Keldorf, the cleanup hitter, on deck. Here you can see a great example of Jablonski's ability to change speeds.
I told Julie Foudy before the game, my biggest goal, just keep them off balance.
Got to be ready on the right side of the infield. This is down. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Opie White, very good second base. Jason Arispe is a huge target and good first baseman. Out in right field, we just saw Georgia make the play. Instead, it's fouled off the other way. He too choking up big time. His triple went right down the first baseline the other night. Since their loss to Texas, this team has hit .360. 29 hits in 59 at-bats. Just another one. They're averaging 5.3 runs a game. They got 1 in their loss to Texas.
Just the size difference. Look at the hitter to the pitcher. It's phenomenal.
They were dealing with a stomach bug that had gone through that San Bernardino region. It certainly impacted a lot of kids. So every night somebody else would knock on the door around 4 a.m.
Make a little comment back and go right back to the field.
2-2, Kalish. Swing and a miss. Jablonski gets him.
But what's going to happen is, if you get distracted, that will happen, and then there'll be a new bat. You're like, wait a minute.
DJ
Where'd he
said,
go?
guess what? I know I gave him the home run, but I'm going to keep coming back to you. Slider after slider. Good for that young man, not worrying about giving up the bomb.
Here comes Lucas Keldorf, the catcher. Inside corner, strike 1.
So So it's just your phone, huh?
Lucas's goal to be a Division I baseball coach.
Just your
His
type of
coaches have meant so much to him throughout his life. Fouls that one off. Chris Keldorf, his dad, a lot of sports fans remember him from his terrific quarterbacking at the University of North Carolina.
I'm not trying to.
Off speed, right center field. Andrew sliding catch out there. Oh, the airfield play all day today.
You did?
Outstanding.
You did? You did. Good job. Good job.
Big Brody doing what he does, leading off. Best hitter in this Little League World Series right now, Hubbard, California. Get him.
The only way you get better is if you keep scoring games. You can use your practice app, or you can use this app to practice. I'd highly recommend it. Go on YouTube, find different games, or if you've been on previous teams before, and I guess starting from last year, just give me a second. Starting from last year, we filmed a lot of games. We had a board member that was very intricate in that. He streamlined it, he created something for media. We all signed that document last year. As you can see, it pops up. You see what's there? That's us right there. This is the team that I'm on. The game is live. You can just click it and start watching it, right? There's other features. I'm just gonna use the last 5 minutes to do it. So what I was saying, like with videos, for you guys, like this team here, click video. It'll break up little clips for you during the innings. But as you can see on the bottom, or in the middle, I guess, these are all the games that we played. Yes, unfortunately we finished the season on 2 losses, but like you can go back and it's all archived for you. So if you find these games and want to practice from your old teams, you can challenge your parent, like if you're a manager, challenge the parents to go in there and practice. Because that's the way you get better. The worst you're ever going to be is before you came in today. You're only going to get better. That's the opposite that I feel, and that's a personal opinion about changing from scorebooks and hard copies to going to Gamechanger. Every single time I score a game, I get better and better and better at it. I feel super confident. I was watching you guys, it was remarkable. You guys were confident, you could see things, you were asking each other questions. That's how this works, okay? Gamechanger, and like I said, I'll spend the last couple minutes on this. How you build your portfolio, I guess this is my Gamechanger portfolio here. It's pretty cool. This is why it's pretty cool. Analytics, it has a lot. You can sort it, you can take off certain games, you can use your you can play Moneyball if you want. You could Billy Bean it up and really, click this. You could click this one right there. If I was Billy Bean, this would what my lineup would be right here. He would lead off, he'd be second, because this is on base percentage. All I did was sort this column, and now everybody's on base percentage. This is all the kids that get on base. And had, slugging, or extra base hits, right? How you guys use it is up to you, right? Or managers or parents. What I really love about this is it eliminates the whole emailing everybody and typing all their emails in there, right? How we do that is you can click message team. It gives you these 2 options here now. So from our registration site, it communicates directly with Gamechanger. So once I hit this button right here, that original email that most of you guys, some haven't got it yet, some have, you click this button, and it's gonna create that email for you with everybody's email address in there, and nobody's gonna be missing. Last year we had a couple of scenarios that was very unfortunate. A couple of kids missed some games in fall ball because there was a typo in their email. Because it's hard, right? You're 13, 14 emails and you're like, and you miss a letter, right? this is gonna prevent that. So what I do, and what I highly recommend people doing, is you send your introductory email, this one, right? Sends out to all your team. And in this email, if you do it this way, on the bottom will be a link to Gamechanger. The next time, and in that email say, hey, this is the last message I'm sending through email or text. Everything is on Gamechanger. Download the app, please. Your player is waiting. You then go back in and create a team chat. When you get this team chat, it's gonna look something. I've got incoming messages already. Hopefully there's nothing crazy, since we're in this class. So you come here, and you can click on these. These are all my messages here, right? But it's gonna create that message for your team. And you just keep on going. You keep on building that communication with your team. This is more flawless than having 4, 5, 6, 7 text threads, okay? This is what we really want you guys to communicate through, like this. We have the board here, and stuff like that, okay? Also, it's gonna send notifications. This is what's gonna help your manager the most. Got current teams. Our schedule's already here, right? You can click on the schedule. Are you going, are you not going? How many players are going? I can see who's coming. I can make a practice plan. I can do all that stuff, right? I know some of you aren't managers, right? But this is at their fingertips to plan ahead, to make sure that your player or this Little League is successful. That is why we do this. That is why we have these clinics and these classes, and we want you guys to grow. Now you can kind of understand what I was saying and why I was promoting this so much. Because the experience that I had as a kid doesn't have to be the same. Yes, the baseball play will be the same, but we have so much technology that we can transform the game and give ourselves opportunity to make it more exciting. Make it more exciting for them, so that they, no offense, but they don't go play lacrosse. They don't leave the Little League, or they don't have, maybe they're not winning, but they could be like, but my on-base percentage is the highest on the team. We lost, but I feel great. Or I hit 6 doubles this year, right, at the end. Those are the types of things where we can kind of steer it away from the hardships that the world is just going to create anyway. So, I love Gamechanger. I hope you guys promote it out there. There's not really anything else that I'm going to teach in the class. If you guys want to stay after, I can dig into more intricate stuff. Divisions, leaderboards, messaging, whatever you guys want. Customizing your team, all those types of things. Cool? Questions?
Real quick, you just talked about messaging with your team.
Correct.
I've got, so when the children are registered, they're tied to one email.
Correct.
To one parent. So I've got many of my families would like both parents to be getting messages. I add them as a fan.
I'm actually glad you said that, because right here on team, you're gonna see roster and you're gonna see fans, right? Only people that are family members will see the team's personal messages, right? So if you don't want somebody seeing those personal messages from the team, do not add them as a family member, right? The family member will be able to watch games for free and see stats and things like that, however the team has been set up, right? So you're giving them that access if you add them. All you have to do is paste their email in there, right? But what he's saying is, how do we get all that information out there? They can just be fans. It's fine. They can watch live games for free. If they want to watch a recorded game, they will have to pay the premium price. But they can watch live games. If you're a fan of any team, you can watch live games. It'll pop up there for you. But you have to be careful when you add people as family members, because they're going to get access to certain things, unless it's limited by the administrator or the staff of that team. For example, you can go in here and click contacts. This is my player. These are all the contacts that are there, right? But if I don't want this gentleman here to see all my stuff, I did this for a reason.
I just did that like 20
It's like, see? He can just get there. and he's there the whole time. He's gonna see everything that we're doing, right? If that's your opponent, or say your best friend, you guys are in the same division, now he has all this stuff, right? Or you might actually start a fire with somebody. And we want to avoid those types of issues, right? Keeping things personal, keeping stuff like that, okay? So it's very, very important. But as you were saying, those emails come from this contact list. So whoever is the main person who registered the player will get that original email. If they want that preference, they need to be added to that player's contact list, and then they will get in the team chat. They might not get the introductory, hey, this is a last message email. I'm sorry, the world is not perfect. That is what I would tell them. Not everything's gonna be great. Oh, I want this and that. If they're in a co-parenting situation, then they're gonna have to have that healthy communication with the other parent if they weren't the one that registered the player. We give that courtesy and that luxury to the person that registered the player, which means that they possibly were the person that paid for the registration. So if they want that, hey, it's my kid too type of situations, then just add them to the contact list here. The team chat will send those messages out to them so they can be in the know. Anyone else? That was a great question. Anyone else have any questions?
Probably go over notifications to make sure that you know how to turn that on.
Oh yeah. So if you want to edit that type of stuff, what I'm saying, it will have to be a staff member. You click the gear at the top. Stat settings, notification things are all here. They can customize their team. Something that we might add to the manager meeting next year is this part, maybe a game changer part for just managers. If you become the team manager or you become the game changer staff member, you can do that. You can go in here and just take over. A lot of managers got a lot on their plate. Maybe they don't want to run Game Changer. Maybe you do. Maybe you're like me and have that controlling bug. I love it. I love controlling Game Changer. I get to control the communication. I can control all the events. I can look at the stats. I can do everything, right? But if you want to take that, then take it. But make sure that you can filter things with that mindset of like, hey, I don't want to give access to everybody or whatever. Or you can make it all public if you want. All your games, notifications will come up. Headhunters Cooperstown or Seam Splitters has a game. I'm a fan. I get notified. I get a text message like, hey, they're about to play in 30 minutes. You know, I got to watch. I actually found a way to mirror onto my TV. I watched Cooperstown games on my couch, on my TV. You know what I mean? It was like really, really cool stuff. But I don't want to keep your guys' Saturday. I don't want to hold you guys hostage. That is all I have for the Game Changer. Like I said, I appreciate you guys. I really, really challenge you guys to please help the people that weren't here, help the people that left early, and help those new people. All right? If anybody else has any other questions or wants to dig deeper, I'm going to be here probably till 4:30. All right? Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bobby.
Yeah. Totally fine. Well, welcome to Hollister.
How many questions you got?
I'm like, damn, you didn't remember that.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
No, that's who we registered through. Our registration site for Hollister Little League.
See, I've done it. I logged in, but on my phone I can't
Downloaded. So he hasn't said
So I'm trying to look at the teams. I'm not on their page. I'm not actually coach on there yet either.
Probably Bobby.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. I texted him this morning.
Okay, yeah. I think that's Bobby.
I'll remind him again.
Yeah, I hate throwing it on Bobby, but
I know.
I don't think, I don't know.
I talked to Mike about it. He goes, no, it's we text them all in group. I know
Oh, so you're on Fred's team?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just give you a heads up.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
And then he's been out sick, he said, so.
Yeah, that's what he was saying, yeah.
Yeah, he's been out.
Thanks, Sean, appreciate it.
All right, buddy.
Okay, so you want me to email you your roster?
Don't rob my name.
The division rep and maybe the vote on that.
Looks like Dylan hasn't built the team, but we can build it and I can send you the roster. Yeah, it shows 15. There's all your. He's supposed to be a major. We gotta move it down.
Phone has to stop filming.
Okay, Rocky. You want to turn off?
Yeah.
Mason, thank you.
I'm still
Yeah,
recording.
so he's got to put him actually on the team. It's just one team, right? Yeah.